Hey gems, and welcome back to another one of my videos. Today we're doing something different. I am going to be showing you my blocking process. Now, is this the best blocking video out there? Probably not. Is it the most accurate blocking video out there? It's a little bit. I'm just going to be showing you how I block my work, specifically how I wet block my work. This is for a jumper that I've been testing for the wonderful Crochet Emily over on Instagram. This is typically how I block most of my work. The only time I really steam block is if I'm doing like a tapestry and I need to quickly straighten out the edges. So I might do another video in the future doing that. But this is specifically for wet blocking, and yeah, I'm just going to take you through. Apologies that I'm so out of breath during this video as well. It was a boiling hot day and I was running around like a madman because I felt like I was like on a time limit or something. I don't know, but there are so many times where like I just am such heavy breathing, so I do apologize for that. Without further ado, I hope you enjoyed this video and I hope it's helpful for you. Welcome to my kitchen. We have bananas. Actually, I don't have bananas, but I do have avocados. Anyway, you want to start out with a bowl. Now, you can do this straight into your sink if you want, but I don't trust that my sink is fully clean. So I like to do it in a separate bowl. Or I usually use a big tub outside, but that big tub has been outside for quite a while and is a little bit dirty, and I don't want to clean it. So we're going to be doing it in this mixing bowl, which I hope is big enough. I'm going to fill this with lukewarm water. You don't want it to be too hot because you don't want to accidentally melt the fibers, especially if you're working with acrylic, and obviously if you're working with natural fibers as well, you don't want to like shrink it or anything. So, and then you can put in kind of honestly any kind of soap. The soap is more to clean it than it is to do anything else, I think. So sometimes I use laundry detergent, but sometimes that's just a bit too strong for me, like the scent of it. So I like to just use washing up liquid. I don't know if that's bad or if that's good, but it's worked for me all these years and all these times. So yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. Don't push too much soap in. You want like the teeniest amount. Otherwise, it's just gonna all be bubbles and it's gonna be really annoying once you go to rinse it because it'll just be bubbles. So just a little bit, enough to clean it, but not too much. This is too many bubbles. I'm gonna have to get rid of some of these bubbles. This should be fine. I'm gonna go grab my jumper now, so BRB. Now we're just gonna submerge it in the water. You want to be quite delicate with this because, like I said, you don't want to like disrupt the fibers too much. You just want to make sure it's nice and saturated so it'll soak up the water so you can kind of manipulate it a little bit later. But yeah, we're just gonna pop this in here. I'm hoping it's big enough. It's not big enough. Okay, now that you have a bowl that is big enough to fit your piece in, once you've submerged it, you want to leave it for about 10 minutes, maybe even 15, depending on the size of your work. Just let it soak up all that water, all that soap, and then come back to it in a little bit and I'll show you what to do then. Right, after 10 minutes you're gonna want to just drain the water. You probably saw that I had to come in and like refill it up. This is also why I don't like doing it in the sink, because it tends to like drain. But anyway, then what you're gonna want to do is squeeze out the excess water. Don't wring it, don't force it too much, because in a minute we're gonna do something else. But you just want to get like as much of the initial water out of it. So I'm just going to kind of squeeze. This is why it's also handy to have like a bowl, so you can kind of like just put it in. And then we're going to take it somewhere else. I'll show you, hang on. Okay, so next up, what you want to So next up, what you're going to want to do is get a towel, lay it on the floor, and then we're going to place this on the towel in kind of the same position and shape that we want to block it in, and we're going to roll it up and squeeze out as much of that water that we can. You want to make sure you lay it in the same kind of shape that you will block it in, just again so we're not distressing the fibers too much. So yeah. I like to actually block my work outside because I find it dries a bit faster, and it's just also like nicer than drying it inside. So I've got my blocking boards, which are just foam pads, like gardening foam pads, my knit blockers. You can use just regular pins instead if you want. I just find these really help make things really straight and square. Then obviously we have my blocking, so let's unravel her. I'm gonna need another foam pad. Right, now you want to lay it on the foam board in the shape that you want. And I always grab a tape measure to make sure that I'm kind of like stretching it and manipulating it to the shape that I actually want. Let's just get pinning. As you can see, I had to move mine onto the floor because my table just was not big enough. That's how it should kind of look. You don't really need too many pins. You just want to make sure that you have it in the shape that you want to set it in. Now I'm going to leave that for probably like 3 or 4 days so that it is fully dry, and so that, you know, because you want it to be fully dry, otherwise it's going to smell like damp and you don't want that. Why do we block our work? Why do we do it? Well, firstly, there's a hygiene kind of aspect to it. You know, you spent all this time crocheting it with your hands or knitting it with your hands that have been in all sorts of places, and it can get really dirty. So you kind of want to do it to wash it, to make sure that it's not gross when you go to start wearing it. Also, just making the fibers more relaxed will give it a more relaxed fit. I'll put here what it looked like beforehand. It's quite structured, it's quite dense, it doesn't sit 100% how I want it to, the arms are a little bit short, just stuff like that. And so blocking the work will make sure that all those fibers are nice and relaxed, and I can also kind of manipulate it to be the right size for me. So, you know, when you're crocheting, your tension's quite tight, especially doing color work. So whilst it does fit me, I want it to be a little bit looser, so I just stretch it a bit more to make it a little bit bigger. And that's kind of why we block things, to make it fit correctly and to make sure that it's nice and clean. So yeah, I'll be back in a couple of days. I'm watching you. Do you want your chair back? Hang on, let me move out your way. What are you doing? What are you doing? And this little guy. So comfy. You know, I should probably tell her off, or maybe get her to get off, but she looks so peaceful. She's deaf as well, so she literally can't hear me coming. Oh, hello, gorgeous. Hello. You getting black hair all over my nice cream jumper? I think you are. And then this little guy likes to sleep in the egg chair. Hey. Hello. You're precious. Okay. Well, okay, no claws. No claws. It is a dreary, miserable day here in England. Thankfully I did all this before the rain hit, but it is all dry now. So we're just gonna take it off the board. That's literally like the last step. That's all you have to do. And then, especially if you've done this outside, Open it up, give it a shake. You don't want no bugs on it. Both my cats and my dog were asleep on this jumper at some point, and surprisingly, there's like little to no hair on it at all. But let's try this bad boy back on and see how good it is. It just sits so much better. Like, the arms are the perfect length. They have this perfect like drape to them. The body is nice and loose. It's not like as tight as it was before. And it just fits perfectly. The neck has been stretched out a little bit, so it's not so tight to put on over my head. And so yeah, this is perfect. And then basically that's how you block. So yeah. As I just said, yes, that is how I block my work, or that is how you block your work if you want to. Sometimes the difference between a blocked finished piece and a like unblocked finished piece is so subtle, but it really does make a difference when it comes to actually wearing the garment, because it just sits so much better. It makes the fabric or the fibers just that little bit softer for when you're wearing it, and I do think it makes like I said, such a huge difference at the end. Here are the two before and afters. I'll put them like here for you guys, and you can kind of just tell, like I said, that the fibers are more relaxed. It fits a little bit better, and it just drapes and sits exactly where I want it to. Something I find with my crochet work is especially the ribbing, like around the neck and the waist. Because of the nature of ribbing, it tends to want to cinch, so I find that blocking as well just helps loosen like that hole and those stitches, and it just makes it easier to put over your head, makes it nice and secure around your waist. So I do think it's worth it. Takes a little bit of time because of the drying process, but like I said, 10 out of 10 would recommend. So yeah, I hope this video was helpful for you guys and entertaining at the same time. I've been working on some more like vlog style videos, in the sense of like I take you through me crocheting, so hopefully I'll have some of those up for you soon, and they'll be fun and good. I don't know, I've never tried to do this before. If you liked the video, then be sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel. It would be great to have you here, and if you want to see more of me, come follow me on all my socials. I'm Jazzy0451 everywhere. But without further ado, have a wonderful rest of your day, night or evening, and I will see you in the next one. Bye guys!